What's up guys, and welcome to my full day of eating on a bulk. Now for those of you who follow me on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, you'll probably know that I actually ended the bulk back in April. So you might be wondering, how exactly am I making this video if I'm not even bulking currently? And I actually recorded a full day of eating on April 1st, which was the last day of my bulk, but I ended up losing a bunch of footage when I transferred it over to my PC. But I really wanted to get this video out to you guys because I've wanted to do a full day of eating for a very long time, and I thought showing you guys what I ate on a bulk would be kind of an interesting video. So the diet that you will see in this video is the exact diet I was eating for probably like the last 2 to 3 weeks of my bulk. This was the most amount of calories I was ever consuming back when I reached a peak weight of around 187 pounds in the morning. I think I weighed 192 pounds at night and 187 in the morning at peak weight sometime in March. So this was pretty much my diet for all of March. But before we get into the full day of eating, I do quickly want to say this was just my diet. I'm not recommending this to any of you guys. If you want to incorporate some of the foods and some of the meals that I ate, absolutely go for it. But I do just want to say I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist. This isn't a perfect diet. It's just kind of what worked for me. But without any further ado, let's just get to the video. So the first meal of the day is none other than a nice big bowl of oatmeal. Total calories and macros are on the screen. I usually eat this at around 10 a.m. after my first class of the day and before my second, and I usually work out at around noon, so it's around 2 hours before my lift. But to make it, get your bowl, add 1 cup of instant oats with some oat milk. This is actually almond milk since I literally just ran out of oat milk, but it pretty much tastes the same. Just don't pour in too much because we're adding more after and you don't want it to be too liquidy. But then microwave it for 2 minutes. Anything longer and it just gets too hot, take it out, add peanut butter and protein powder. This is chocolate brownie, but you can pretty much use any flavor you like. Then pour in a little bit more oat milk to cool it down and make it a bit easier to mix up. And finally cut up 1 whole banana, stir and enjoy. I've been eating this for 2.5 years now and it still tastes amazing. Great for a pre-workout meal, slow digesting carbs, high quality protein, healthy fat. And you can also add honey, other fruit, or even salt if you want a better pump at the gym. But that's meal 1. It takes about 5 minutes to make and tastes delicious. Then onto my first snack of the day, which is just a post-workout protein shake, which I have right after my workout somewhere around 2 p.m. Then around 30 minutes later, I make my second meal of the day, 2 beef quesadillas, a pear, and a kiwi. First, I gotta make the beef, except I'm recording this on my cut, so I actually have to make turkey, but let's just pretend this is beef. But once you've got your meat, turn the stove on to around medium or a notch higher, get your pan and some olive oil. A lot of olive oil. This step is important. Then pour in your beef, break it up, and after about 3 to 5 minutes, flip it over, switch utensils, and break it up even further. Then just throw it around for a while until there's no pink. Honestly, I usually overcook mine, which is why it looks like I'm about to start a fire. Then when it's done, turn off the stove, and to make things easier, I like to dump it into a container first and then add my seasonings, but you can also season it straight in the pan. I just think it's easier to mix in Tupperware. For the seasonings, we've got Goya all-purpose, Cajun, red hot buffalo, chili powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, and finally salt and pepper. Add in a bit of each. Honestly, you can't really go wrong with seasoning, so just add however much you feel is right. Close the lid, give it a good shake for around 30 seconds, and there you have it. Your beef is complete, except again, this is turkey, but it's literally the exact same process. Once that is done, grab a new pan and throw in your tortilla. And on my bulk, I'd put butter on the pan for some more calories, but again, I'm on my cut, so that will not be happening. But while that's heating up, grab your fillings. I personally only use light sour cream and sharp cheddar, but you can also add salsa, lettuce, or pretty much anything you want. But a quesadilla is not a quesadilla without cheese, so pour on a hefty amount. I usually just eyeball it. It's around 1 serving. And then I measure out my beef. Again, the meal I'd eat on my bulk was 2 4-ounce servings of beef per quesadilla. So I'd usually measure out 4 ounces, make my quesadilla, and then repeat the process on a second tortilla. But for my cup, I'm only gonna make 1. But once the cheese is just about melted, pour in your sour cream and mix it around. Then pour in your beef you just measured out, fold your tortilla, press it down, ideally with a spatula or something, but I ran out, so I'm idiotically using my hand. After a minute, flip it over, put it on a plate, turn off the stove, and voila, your quesadilla is complete. And for the sides, just wash some fruit. I go for a kiwi and a pear, cut it up, and there you have it. Meal number 2, total calories and macros are on the screen. When I have to make the beef from scratch, it usually takes around 30 minutes to prepare, so I'll eat this at around 3:30ish, around an hour and a half after my workout. And when that's finished, I usually do some homework, make a TikTok, jot down some ideas for future videos, and after about another hour and a half at like 5:30ish, I'll have my second snack of the day, which is Greek yogurt mixed with nuts and fruit. I used to get the flavored Oikos 000 because I really liked how it tasted, but I recently switched to just plain Aldi brand and started adding frozen blueberries because it's cheaper and honestly tastes better. But all I do is measure out 1 serving of yogurt, which is 170 grams, then add 100 grams of blueberries and 60 grams of peanuts. It's a really easy snack to make, tastes pretty good, total calories and macros are on the screen. And once that's done, I usually do some school related work or procrastinate for a while until it's time for my next meal, which happens to be an hour and a half later at around 7. This is my third meal of the day, which is 4 ounces of ground beef mixed with 5 ounces of rice, with 5 ounces of carrots, 5 ounces of broccoli, and an apple. This meal is much easier to make since I already cooked the meat, but I use minute rice and frozen broccoli, both of which I microwave for like 10 minutes, and on most nights I don't don't even have to make this either since I usually make enough for around 3 to 4 days. And the baby carrots and apple are pretty self-explanatory. But I just measure out my beef and rice in a container, heat it up for 2 minutes, then mix in some sour cream, cheese, and marinara sauce because for some reason it tastes really good. But then I weigh out my broccoli and carrots on a separate plate, cut up an apple, and that's pretty much it for meal 3. Total calories and macros are on the screen. Again, pretty simple, only takes like 5 minutes to prepare unless you have to make the broccoli or rice from scratch, which in that case all you have to do anyways is throw it in a bowl with some water and toss it in the microwave. So again, not very difficult. And finally, about an hour later, I eat my third and final snack of the day before my last meal, which is one protein bar that I just eat by itself because it just tastes fucking incredible. Total calories and macros are on the screen. This actually varies depending on which flavor I eat, but they're all somewhat similar. And a couple hours after that is my fourth meal of the day that I try and eat before 10:30 so I can go to sleep before 11. And this is 2 peanut butter sandwiches with 2 scoops of protein powder. Recently, I've been using vanilla ice cream. However, I'm currently running out and need to get more. But the total calories and macros are on the screen. I'm not even going to explain how to make this meal because I'm pretty sure everyone here is above the age of 4. But after that is my last consumption of the day, which is one of these Rootine multivitamin pills. They're custom made based on my DNA and any deficiencies I might have in my diet, which means they contain everything I need in terms of vitamins and minerals to help with immune function, digestion, bone health, and tons of other things. If you're looking for a good multivitamin that you can take specifically based on your diet, genetics, and lifestyle, this is definitely one I recommend. You can check out the first link in the description to know more, but that wraps up my full day of eating as a college student on a bulk. Here are the daily totals of all my meals added together. As you can see, it is well over 4,000 calories. But yeah, that is it for the commentary and my shitty cooking skills. So that was my full day of eating on the bulk. I'm not eating anywhere close to that amount of calories currently. And I know what you're thinking, dude, why did you eat so much protein? Well, there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, protein is just a very safe macronutrient to overeat. I kind of explained this in my bulking video that eating a lot of protein isn't really going to do any harm. The only thing it might do is upset your stomach if you're eating a lot of it, but I don't have any digestive problems. I've been totally fine. Also, a lot of that protein came from incomplete protein sources like the whole grain bread, the brown rice. And also, you guys have to remember, I was eating close to 5,000 calories. You know, those calories have to come from somewhere, and protein is obviously just going to be higher in a bulk than you are in a cut just because you're eating more and you're obviously just getting more calories in. I do understand that it is unnecessary to have close to 300 grams of protein in a diet, but you know, it was only 23% of my total calorie intake. And again, when your calories are so high, you know, your protein is inevitably gonna be high. In terms of my carbs and fat intake, my carbs intake was kind of low. I think it was like just over 40% of my total calories, but you do have to remember that was close to 500 grams, and 500 grams of carbs is a lot of carbs when you think about it. And my fats were a little bit high. I think it was just under 40%, so it was almost like 50-50 on carbs and fat, and they both do supply energy. And the reason for that is just because fats are just so much easier to eat on a bulk. They're so much more calorie dense. You know, downing peanut butter and nuts in a bulk is just so much more efficient than eating 5 cups of rice and 6 potatoes. I didn't really have any problems energy wise. And in terms of my total calories, most of you are probably thinking like, damn, this dude's eating 5,000 calories a day. Like, how is that even possible? So I was gaining like 1 pound a week when I was eating this. Again, I was eating this in around March, which was the peak of my bulk. And in February, I was eating probably 150 calories less than this just because I would incrementally increase my calories just to make sure I didn't plateau and I kept gaining weight. But the reason my calories were so high is because for some reason, I just have a really naturally high metabolism. Even at the peak of my cut last summer, I was eating like 2,800 to 3,000 calories a day, and I was maintaining like 10% body fat at 155 pounds at 5'8", which is like insane for some people. Like some people bulk at 3,000 calories. It really is a blessing and a curse because on a cut, you get to eat more food and it's fucking awesome. But then on a bulk, when you actually have to gain weight, you just have to stuff yourself with food and eat way more than you can handle, which kind of sucks. So this was around a 500 calorie surplus. I wasn't dirty bulking and gaining like 3 pounds a week. I always made sure to track my weight in the morning just to make sure I wasn't gaining weight too quickly or maintaining my weight for a long period of time. I really try to stay consistent to 1 pound a week, and I think I gained close to 30 to 35 pounds in 8 months. It was a very consistent linear progress, and I think the bulk did end up going really well. But in terms of how consistent I was with this diet, I would say probably 6 out of the 7 days of the week I would eat pretty much the exact same food. So that diet you saw in the video, I would probably eat all of March except for 3 or 4 days. I would probably get Chipotle and I would skip a meal, or my friends would order a pizza and I would have a slice, and I would kind of just adjust my calories accordingly. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on why I was choosing the macronutrient breakdown that I did, why I was eating so many calories, how I felt during the process, and everything like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.